Good morning, everybody. Orange here with another War of the Visions video, and today is a much awaited video. We are going to update the UR unit tier list for War of the Visions. The Final Fantasy Tactics units have received their EX jobs. They're ready to go. The 2.5-year collaboration units and all of the stuff around that has been in the game for a while. We can start to place these units in a tier list, and people have been asking me to do this for a long time, so let's do it. Let's put a tier list on the screen and see what we got. Now, here we go. What you're seeing now is the old tier list, right? I sort it like this. 110, these are units, this is a cost value, by the way. 110, these are units that I think are just the strongest in the game. Like, they're so strong that calling them 100 cost would not even justify them. And then you have like, so they're the craziest ones in my opinion. 100 cost, these would be the units that I think are the strongest units in the game, but not like overpowered. I think they're like appropriately strong, just worth the 100 cost tag if they have it. 90 cost, better than average units. 80 cost is what I would say a balanced regular UR unit would be. This should be the majority of UR units. An 80 cost unit is super usable, but not broken, not element defining, but also not holding the element back. 70 cost, these would be the units that if you're using them in your PvP team right now, you're probably carrying them a little bit. Sure, they can do some things. You can build Whisper to have her work, especially as like a bruiser, something like that, but their day has either come and gone or might not be here yet. So, and then the EX waiting room is about to clean itself out. I want to start with moving some units around. So let's go to the top of this list. I have a couple units that I want to drop from the top of the list down a tier. And it's not because they're bad. I just think the game has caught up to them a little bit. And so I don't think they belong in the 110 cost anymore. I'm going to drop Locke and Esther down into the 100 cost list. Now Locke and Esther fans, don't lose your mind at me, or do. Yeah, write hateful things to me in the YouTube section comments to boost the algorithm. Thank you. But I just think they are not on the same level they were several months ago when I made this list. They're still at the 100 cost. Like, I would still consider them worthy of being a 100 cost unit, and Locke's not even a 100 cost unit. So keep that in mind. I think they're still really good, but I don't think they are as good as Cloud, Starlight Elena, and Astrius, in my opinion. So there's my first two moves. Keep in mind, this tier list is also mostly a PvP tier list. I will mention some PvE things for some units, but this is most part a PvP tier list. Okay, the 100 cost list. We have some movers. First of all, Dwayne, I think his time in the 100 cost list, he needs some love. I'm going to drop him down to 90. He's been out forever. He's one of Global's global first units, maybe the first one. I can never remember. He is a 100 cost unit, but I don't think he lives up to that anymore. I'm dropping him to 90. This next one hurts because I think every unit in the game is a Bara. I think she's awesome. I also think she hits an axe about as powerful as a 90 cost unit does right now. I'm going to drop her down. That one was really close to me, but that's how I feel about it. I just don't think she carries the same punch that she used to. Winter Luartha, still think she's really good, just think she's outshined by some newer, maybe Wind Spear characters, so I am going to put her down into the 90 cost category. Charlotte, still top tier lightning tank in the game. Tanks maybe just not as valuable as they used to be. Charlotte can still do a lot of things for you, but I am going to drop her down into the 90 cost. I think in my mind, the thing that holds Charlotte back a little bit is she needs that ramp up time to be a really successful tank. Some maps do not offer that time. On those maps, she struggles a little bit. So calling her a 100 cost capable unit, maybe that, I still think she's there anymore. I still think she's 90. I still think she's better than average. I'm putting her there. Okay, here's a mover that's the other way. Guys, and a lot of people commented about this the last time I did this tier list. Velis. Velis, where are you? Velis is going up. This dude is busted. And like, he should have, like, I was not smart not putting him in the 110 cost area the first time. He doesn't do that much damage. When he does do damage, it hurts a lot. But a guy who you can build to stand still, haste your whole team, cast a self buff, cast a TMR buff, let your units move forward and engage, and then start healing them. He's broken. He's really, really good. He's one of the best units in the game, and he's a support. He makes ice what ice is. Combined with ice's like really strong tanks, ice is great right now. Just ice is great. Also fire sucks, so ice benefits from that. But there's Velos going into 110. He goes up. And then Halloween Leela. There's not a unit I like fighting less than Halloween Leela right now. Or not Halloween Leela. Black Leela. Dark Leela. My words are all over the place. She's going up. I'm moving her up because Bold Leela. Thank you, Jesus. Chat's here. We're recording this live. I think she's better than these units. So I'm moving her up to these units where I think she's on par. She's going up there, especially when paired with those other really strong dark bruisers of the world. Yes, Leela the Bald. Let's call it Leela the Bald. She's going up to the 110 cost. Remember, these are the units that I think are the strongest units in the game right now. There we go. Leaving Cloud, Starlight, Elena, and Astris in there. Moving Velis and Leela the Bold up for now. Okay, let's go down to the 90 cost list. We have some movers here. First of all, Ruinstern is going up, baby. His upgrade, where he got that shield, he's better now. He's a 100 cost unit who I was rating at less than a 100 cost unit, but seeing him in action right now, even in like high-end Guild Wars, wearing like a Keen Blade setup, something like that, he's back. He's back to being a legit 100 cost unit, in my opinion. I love this guy. I just really like him. And so maybe that gives him a little bonus. Maybe. I don't care. I'm putting him back up into the 100 cost. Congratulations, Ruinstern, in my opinion. Then I wrote down Farm. Now, Farm, I think Farm is a really, really good PvE unit. But this is not a PvE tier list. In PvP, I think she is 80 cost worthy. So I'm not hating on her. I don't think she sucks. I just think that she's average for a UR in PvP only, and if I'm going to make this focus of this tier list PvP, I'm going to move Farm down from 90 to 70. Now Ray, who's in Twitch chat right now and is the water player, is telling me to move her farther down and hate on her more. Not going to do that. Not going to do that. Just going to move her to there. Okay, another mover, Golbez. Like, Golbez, I don't think he sucks, but you just don't see him that much. I think he's outshone by a lot of the other dark mages, dark units in this game. There's been so many lately that I think he's just been outclassed a bit. And I'm going to move him down to 80 as well. And then, gosh, I feel like the word I wrote was Velny. But Velny is not in the 90 cost tier. What word did I just write? Oh, Velric. But yeah, so look, again, Velric's another unit. Man, I can't read my own handwriting. Velric's another unit that in PvE is a beast, right? But in PvP, I think he's outshone by some of the, like, maybe better ice units. Gilgamesh, for example. So I'm just going to drop him down to 80. Super usable, just fine. But it's not old, busted Drain Rush Velric like it used to be. I'm going to drop him down to 80. Now, movers in the 80 tier. Okay, this tier is crowded, so work with me for a second while I find some folks. One that I want to move up is Raldor. I'm not going to go crazy. Like, I've seen JP tier lists where this guy is like third on the tier list. Now, mine aren't in any particular order. Like, I'm not saying Cloud is better than all the rest of these. I'm just giving them like a cost limit. So I'm not saying Raldor is worse than everybody else in the 90 cost, but I do think he's a legit 90 cost unit right now. Things that hold him back. He struggles a little bit with speed, and like on longer maps like the one we have now, even if you build him like totally anti-missile and fight an ice team, he can still get kited out. His potential to just crush what is the ice meta is there. It's just he doesn't do it all the time. So I can't bump him up to like 100 or something, but I'm comfortable moving him up to 90. Sakura. Sakura is a unit that I want to move up as well. So where's she hiding in here? Where's old Sakura at? She's in here somewhere. I'll kind of talk about, there she is. Bump up. So her ability to buff elemental resistances, and all the elemental resistances that she buffs are like in the game right now active. You can use her to build like an anti-dark team. You can build her to fight lightning teams. She can do, like, if she's on a light squad, she has access to lightning damage. as a mage, I think she's really good. Her latest round of buffs have increased her power, in my opinion. And keep in mind, she's a cheap unit to use for cost-limited situations. I think that adds value to her. So I'm moving her up to 90 out of 80. I think she is an above average unit. Then another unit that I have hated a little more than I should have in the past. Not hated, but I just thought was average. I think Lemire is also really good. I think we live in a world right now where having a couple of bruisers that are really fast, that are dark units, that are named Joker and Leela, or, you know, Joker and maybe you're talking about like one of the mages, Halloween Lucia, something like that. If you can sync up their agilities, haste your whole team, have Lemire just supporting the heck out of them, she's really effective in PvP. Now, she's not like Velis. I don't think she's anywhere near Velis. But I do think she is above average in PvP right now, so I'm going to bump her up to that 90 cost area. Now, for old units, I'm leaving everybody else alone. Those were the moves I wanted to make. Keep in mind, there are big changes coming down the pipe, especially for a lot of these units chilling down here. These units are going to get a time where they are playable, or maybe even better than playable, again in the future. We'll revisit that. We'll revisit all that. This is where I'm putting these units right now, but we're not done. We've got more work to do. We've got a whole host of new units to add, and we have the EX waiting room for Final Fantasy Tactics. Let's start there. Ramza, hey, he's not a meme anymore. I'll put Rams into 80. I've seen Invasion Ramza work. His new shout buff gives AoE protect. He's pretty good. You can run. He has long range. I like Ramza. I think they did a good job making him usable. He's definitely not busted. Like, he's not out here changing the meta, but he's very usable. He's what a UR probably should be. We'll throw Ramza right there, and I think Delita lives there with him. Like, these two were best buds, and they weren't best buds. Then Delita steals the princess. Final Fantasy Tactics starts. That whole story plays out, and that's why we're all here watching this video today. I like Delita. I've been using him myself in a little bit of Guild Wars on my fire teams for a while there. He's also a good PvE unit, but we're not talking about that. He's good enough. 80 cost will do for him. Agrius. Okay, now, don't get mad. Guys, don't get mad. I have to put her here so I can scroll up further and put her here. See what I did there? This page is just too big. I gotta do that. Look, here's the deal with Agrius. I think a lot of people are sleeping on just how dang good Agrius is. Now, her ability to change a PvP fight with status effects is like unmatched in this game. She has confusion, she has disable, she has silence, she is super tanky. I think a lot of people see Snow, our like newest Final Fantasy toy, and they're letting that kind of overshadow how great Agrius is again. Now, she's not 110 cost. She's not a unit that you're like, well, I have Agrius, I can just, just win the game like Velis. No, she's not that. But you can put her with Velis. Oh, that's an option. You can run her with Snow, and I ran Snow, Agrius, Velis, and was like winning. And it's like 2 tanks and a Velis. And I was like, why is this winning? This is really weird. I don't know, but it worked. So I'm putting Agrius back up into 90. Welcome back to the meta, Agrius. You fit into the ice meta just fine. You're just not as super, you don't see Agrius in every fight like you used to before. Orlandu. Now, Orlandu at one point was the 110 god of this game. Right now, he's like 80. They put him back into just like, hey, he's pretty usable, but Lightning is so stacked. Like, okay, he's a very good high damage bruiser. He's creeping towards this 90 cost, right? He does a lot of things great. But you know what? He's just good. He ain't great. He's just good now. Lightning is so loaded with DPS units. That's where I'm going to throw him. I think he just goes there. And I don't have a ton more to say about him. Like, what I do have to say is the EX waiting room is over. We can now officially rename this room. Watch this, watch this. We will rename this to TikTok Collab Waiting Room. There we go. All right, fixed. Got it. Okay, so now we have the TikTok Collab Waiting Room, and there we go. All right, now we have newer units to the game to add. These are in no particular order, just the order the game threw them in here. First up, Queen Ma Cherie. I was just talking about her on stream earlier. We're going to do this thing where I move her up. She is one of the most, I think, underused 100 cost units in the game. Earth, just not like, Earth is fine. It's just not Dark, right? And what Earth tries to do is what Dark does. Really high damage units, really hard to kill. And Queen Macherie fits that mold. She's a mage. She pairs really well with, like, Luelle. I think she will eventually pair really well with Kilfei when Kilfei gets her master ability too. But for now, I just don't know that she's on par with these other 100 cost units. I had trouble with this one because I like this unit a lot. I really, really like this unit a lot. So I want to put her here. And in fact, I'll just do it. It's my tier list. I'm going to throw her there. She's 100 cost unit. She's worth it. 100 cost. Okay, next up. Classy, or Flag Bearer Glassy. So we're going to move this one up. This girl is easily right here. She is easily a 100 cost unit. In fact, she's pushing that 110 cost. You know what? Yeah, let's put her up here. I think she is this good. Like, Wind is very strong. You pair her with like a Joom, something like that. This girl crushes. She has really good buffs. She does a ton of damage. I really like her a lot. I'm going to put her into the 110 cost. If you're building your account around a DPS unit and you want to play Wind, I think Flag Bearer Glassy is an amazing unit. Boom. Let's put her up into that 110 cost range. Okay. Chunok. Chunok's not been, like, you just don't see this guy that much. He does a bunch of damage. That's a thing. And you could run him with, like, Water Evade with, like, Laura or something, with Lara, or something like that. But for now, Chunok is a potential mover for me. I just haven't seen enough of him. Like, you just don't see him that much. So I'm going to stick him in 80 for now as almost like a holding place to let him live there. And chat reminded me of something. Her ability to remove don't die effects is massive when you're fighting a lot of PvP teams right now. So nice something to mix there. Lightning. Okay, Lightning's next. Lightning is really good, you guys. Like, I'm going to throw Lightning up here into the, let's see. I'm going to drop her into 90. Look, here's my deal with Lightning. I'm going to talk myself into putting her into 90 or 100 right now. Here's Lightning's deal. She needs to cast 2 buffs. In a way, she's like a DPS version of Charlotte. Like, she's really strong, but you gotta get Pursuit on. Like, Pursuit makes her... Okay, look, I'm gonna assume that you're a good enough player, you get the Pursuit buff cast. In that case, she's a 100 cost unit. Like, in that world, where you set up your team right, you let her cast her group buffs, you let her get Pursuit on, she is 100 cost. If you run her dumb and she's like instantly in range of the enemy, she's 90 or 80. But if played right, let's pretend you're using these to the max potential. We'll throw into 100. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Okay, Sottily. Oh, this is another good one. Sottly's a 100 cost unit easily. So we're going to throw Sottily into 100 cost. Yeah, he's great. The charm on the limit break is awesome. Like, I have trolled a lot of Guild Wars fights by charming somebody on the enemy team, especially Halloween Lucia. It is hilarious when you drop a charm on Halloween Lucia and then your next unit is a physical DPS unit and you're like, oh no, they're going to break the charm. They're going to break the charm. And then they don't break her shield and she's still charmed and she goes and kills her team and you're like, well, I planned that. Obvious planning. He's great. Now, the question for Sottily is he 110 cost? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's really good, but I think Flag Bearer Glassy's a little bit better. So, chat's trying to tell me Mono Wind, 110. That's not how I feel. I'm going to drop him into 100 for now. Look, here's what this means. He's damn good. He's a 100 cost unit. He's worthy of the cost. I'll go there. Valentine's Day Ildira. In PvP, I think she's an 80 cost. She's plenty usable. I think her best role is PvE. She's a PvE fire. Great. She's goddess of PvE fire. But this is a PvP tier list, so I'm just going to drop her into 80. She's super usable, but fire's kind of bad, and she doesn't really do that much special. So I'll drop her to right there. Okay, Eliza. Our next two are ice missile units. The meta, if you're playing an ice team right now, is Velis with tanks and missile units, or Velis with missile units, or just a tank and 2 missile units. These two girls right here are the units that'll let you do that. Eliza, I'm going to put her into the 90 cost category. I think she's up here with Agrius in how good she is. I think there's an argument to be made that she's 100 cost, and I think if I'd have made this list, a month and a half ago, I would have put her there. Reason I'm not putting her there is because that's where I'm gonna put Elia. I think, and maybe I'm crazy here, but I have seen Elia hurt me more than Eliza. So that the range on Elia is really devastating. This combo, these two in combination are just destruction. And like even fire teams built anti-fire and anti-missile have a hard time dealing with this combo. So in my opinion right now, Elia a little better than Eliza. So I'm going to put Elia at 100, Eliza at 90. If you're building ice missile, there's your girls. That's what I'll say. There's your girls. Play them together. You will have great success. Okay, next up, we have Dark Fina. Now, Dark Fina is a 100 cost unit in the game, and I think she's a 100 cost unit just like, I think that's where she belongs. She's a really hard to kill mage, can give herself re-raise, does a lot of damage. I think she's correctly placed by the development team at that 100 cost level. I don't think she's as good as Halloween, or as Dark Leela. Why do I keep calling... I don't know. I'm not calling everybody a bar today. That's something. I'm going to drop her into 100. We're at 20 minutes in this video already, so I'm going to try and not go real long on these. Re-raise plus a lot of damage plus somebody that's hard to kill is tough to deal with. And that's her, so I think it's tough to deal with. Boom, let's keep going. Halloween Lucia. Now, this is an interesting one, because this chick is a 70 cost unit, right? But I'm putting her in 90. She's tough. Like, for a cost-limited... She's a cost-limited all-star. Much like our other cost-limited 70 cost all-star. Let's put them together. Here's a couple 70 cost girls that you just don't want to run into in cost-limited situations. She's so tanky. She's so hard to deal with, especially against physical units. It is a nightmare to try to kill her. Sottily is the unit that I've tried to like put against her a lot of times. And even then, it doesn't always work. I think she is considerably stronger than what she is rated in the game. So I'm going to put her at 90. Guys, she's borderline. Like... Nah, forget borderline. She's 100 cost. We'll go 100. These two, I think these two are similar power levels. Let's just say it. This is a 100 cost Dark Mage, and this is also a 100 cost Dark Mage that only cost you 70 points. Yeah, she's nuts. Okay, there we go. Hope. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hope. Boom, 70 cost. Hope in PvP, he doesn't really exist because he's not great at it. You know, I'm sorry, dude, but like, you just ain't like, you ain't doing it for me. We'll just put him there. Okay, Summer Jaden. This guy's going up. I think Summer Jaden is a 90 coster. Can be tricky to use. Does a lot of work for you. Can definitely carry your teams, but definitely needs to be out there. Like he takes a little bit of work. As a wind player, I've used him a lot and liked him. The AI is a bit of a struggle for me. That's what I'll say. I'm trying to keep it short. 90 cost. He can do some damage for you. And then Snow. Now, Snow, for some reason, Snow is like controversial. Bro, Snow is up here. Like, I think Snow is a borderline 100 cost unit. I've said that a lot. Like, these new units tend to be stronger. Here's my deal with Snow. He needs that ramp up time. What keeps Snow off of 100 cost for me is he, like Charlotte, needs 2 turns to ramp up. He needs to put courage on, and he needs to put his heal when he gets low HP buff on. If he can do those 2 things, he is like massively elevated himself. But not all maps allow your tank to get 2 turns of buffing. So that's why I think I'm just going to keep him at 90 for now. He's really great. And notice that Ice has these 2 really great 90 cost tanks. They both do something besides tanking, and that's why I'm putting them above 80. Like, if all they did was soak damage, I don't know, I guess I don't value that as much, but this dude does a ton of DPS, and she does a ton of status effects mixed with their tankiness. That's why I'm going to put them both into 90 cost. There we go. Okay, 24-minute video at this point. That's my updated UR unit tier list. There's nobody left hanging out down here. Rip Hope. Yeah, let me know what you think. So in my opinion, these are your strongest units in the game right now. This 110 cost, the 100 cost right behind them. These are what like strong units in the game should look like in my opinion. 90 cost, better than average. 80 cost, what a UR unit should be. And 70 cost, they need a little bit of love. And then the TikTok collaboration waiting room is just down there at the bottom. We're waiting. Watch her. Watch the TikTok collaboration waiting room unit turn into the 120 cost unit when it's a global fire unit that's a dancer that changes the meta. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'm curious to hear what you think. Peace.